Planet of the Fakes. And Pigstar HH News. Racist white passenger refuses to let black woman sit beside her, airline does nothing about it. Kira Dowdle was taken aback when she boarded Spirit Airlines. Her co-passenger refused to let her sit beside her. The incident left her feeling embarrassed and heartbroken. Detroit-based Kira Dowdle shared a heartbreaking incident on Facebook. While traveling on a Spirit Airlines flight, she met a racist Eastern European co-passenger who bluntly refused to allow Dowdle to take the seat next to her. Astonishingly, the flight attendants too were of no help, as they simply complied with the woman's wishes and did nothing to prevent this prejudiced behavior, reports Daily Mail. Black passenger claims she was asked to move after racist white woman refused to let her sit down the sun. Posting the picture of the woman, Dowdle narrated this hurtful incident, which left her heartbroken and embarrassed. Due to a 12-hour delay in her flight from Detroit, she had to catch the plane flying from Las Vegas to Chicago on Tuesday, June 25. Once she boarded the plane, she was offered a seat right next to a Russian woman, who refused to accommodate her. "Yeah, if I was flying Spirit and was lucky enough to have an open seat next to me, I'd move heaven and earth to keep it that way. Who knows what kind of garbage human you could end up rubbing elbows with, as this story demonstrates." She wrote how adamant the lady was about not letting her sit beside her. "So my flight was delayed from Detroit for 12 hours. Luckily I catch a flight from Vegas to Chicago. I board the Chicago flight and the open seat they gave me was next to a Russian woman, who refused to let me sit by her. Like refuses it to the point that she is arguing with the flight attendant about how she is not going to let me sit by her." Randette Brown. At Randette Brown. Black passenger claims racist white woman refused to let her sit down on flight. Fortunately, there were other considerate white souls on board the flight who offered to exchange seats with her and reduce her embarrassment. She continued, "Luckily there were other white people on the plane who chose to switch seats with me so I wouldn't have to sit by her, which she happily allowed." Flag of United States. American woman says Russian passenger refused to sit next to her on flight. "I'm so embarrassed and heartbroken at Spirit Airlines." Black woman says white passenger refused to sit next to her on flight. "I'm so embarrassed and I had to ask someone to switch seats with me because she didn't want to sit by a black woman in 2019. Kira wrote on her Yahoo.com. See Relmerikins' other tweets. The woman then added how upsetting it was and added, "I have never experienced this before. I am so upset that I couldn't lay hands on this lady. So appreciative of the other passengers who just rallied around me, held my hand and really prayed with me. This 4-hour flight is about to feel like a lifetime. I am so embarrassed and heartbroken, crying face number Spirit Airlines. Spirit Airlines." After the plane landed, the Russian woman wanted to lodge a complaint against the passengers, booing her. "How are you fucking idiots not already bankrupt and out of business? Why don't you rebrand as Plantation Airways? Fuckwits." Black woman says white passenger refused to sit next to her on flight. "I'm so embarrassed and heartbroken. Immediately after we landed she rushed off requesting a supervisor to complain to because the passengers were booing her and calling her a racist. She said her not letting me sit down had nothing to do with me being black, but simply because she thought the seat was going to be empty," said Dowdle. Sharing her excuse for her behavior, she wrote, her excuse was she thought the plane was already boarded and no one told her that he would have to sit next to anyone. Face with rolling eyes, mind you, she allowed the young, white, college student to sit next to her, with no issue. In addition, Dowdle slammed the airline as well. She stated, "My thing is after refusing to let me sit down the flight attendants should have made her move. I shouldn't have needed to switch seats to accommodate her choice of what race she wanted next to her and her husband. I had to ask someone to switch seats with me because she didn't want to sit by a black woman in 2019. The attendants thanked me multiple times for being a team player. I said, why do I have to be a team player to someone who is obviously putting her racist cards on the table? Them allowing her to block the seat should have been enough for them to escort her off the plane, but obviously her being comfortable was more important. Maybe I was asking for too much. Shrug. Thanks number Spirit Airlines. The worst experience ever. Spirit Airlines. Thanking her fellow Facebook users, she said in a video, "I definitely want to thank you guys for being so supportive. That was definitely one of the worst experiences I have ever went through. I'm definitely filing a complaint with corporate. Like, comment,